Eamon?
Thanks, Sarah. This week, the CEOs of AT&T and Novartis both said that they thought it was a mistake for their companies to work with the president's lawyer. Does the president think it was a mistake for his lawyer to work with them?
I think that this further proves that the president's not going to be influenced by special interest. This is actually the definition of draining the swamp, something the president talked about repeatedly during the campaign. And for anything beyond that, I would direct you to the president's outside counsel.
This is the definition of draining the swamp, right?
I think it's pretty clear that the Department of Justice opposed the merger, and so certainly the president has not been influenced by any, or his administration influenced by any outside special interest. David?
Sarah, thank you. Two questions. We've heard a lot about White House aide Kelly Sadler and her comments about Senator McCain reportedly saying in a meeting that the president shouldn't worry about the senator's opposition to the nomination of Gina Haspel because he is dying anyway. Meghan McCain, his daughter, wondered aloud today why Kelly Sadler still has a job here at the White House. Does she still have a job?
I'm not going to comment on an internal staff meeting. Catherine?
Following up on that question about Kelly Sadler's comment, does the White House not think that you need to condemn these remarks or comment?
Again, I'm not going to validate a leak one way or the other out of an internal staff meeting.
Are you saying that you didn't say this?
Again, I'm not going to validate a leak out of an internal staff meeting one way or the other. Jonathan?
Does the president regret what he said during the campaign about John McCain when he said he wasn't a war hero? He prefers people that weren't captured?
I believe the president has spoken about that. I haven't talked with him specifically about that. Jeff?
If you won't comment on the specific comment, what does the White House believe about Senator McCain? And is there a tone set from the top here where it is allowed for an aide to say he's dying anyway?
Certainly, there is not a tone set here. We have a respect for all Americans, and that is what we try to put forward in everything we do, both in word and in action, focusing on doing things that help every American in this country every single day. And I think if you look at the policies we've put forth, you'll see that reflected.
Why not just apologize to Senator McCain?
Again, I'm not going to get into a back and forth because people want to create issues of leak staff meetings. Kristen.
Follow up on one of my colleagues. To be clear, does Kelly Sadler still work at this White House?
Yes, she does.
She does. Okay, and to follow up on that, more broadly, does the president set the tone? Does he bear responsibility for the tone within this White House?
The president, as I mentioned just a moment ago, supports all Americans. If you look at what he's doing every single day, he's showing up to work. He's working hard to make this country better, whether it's through building our economy, creating jobs, defeating ISIS, fixing our judiciary system, helping with the illegal immigration problems that we have. The president is addressing a number of issues. That is what our focus is. That is what we are doing here every day, and that is what the president has, I think, laid out very clearly what his interests are.
My question is a little different. Does he bear responsibility for the tone set here at the White House and all of the staffers who work here, frankly?
It certainly does, and I think he has done a good job of laying out what the priorities of the administration are, and that what they are doing is helping impact Americans all across the country. Sorry, Kristen, I'm going to keep moving.
So many of us have spoken to people who said they heard these comments. Do you say that they're lying?
Sorry, go ahead.
Are they lying,
Sarah, General Kelly came out and endorsed in an NPR interview a pathway to citizenship for temporary protected status recipients who have been in the United States for quite some time. Does the president share General Kelly's view on that?
I haven't seen that specific comment from the interview. I certainly know that both the president and General Kelly want to fix the system. I'd have to look at that specific comment in the interview.
Then, did General Kelly oppose the administration's push to end TPS and actually give a deadline to some people who have been here for over 20 years to leave the country? Did he specifically
I would have to look at the comment before I could weigh in.
Does the president have confidence in Secretary Nielsen?
As we've said many times before, if the president no longer has confidence in a cabinet member, he'll let you know.
In that regard, what more does the president think Nielsen could do now under the law that she hasn't done already? Does he really want her to close the U.S.-Mexico border?
The president wants us to do a number of things. He wants us to work with Congress, as we've laid out time and time again, and as we've called on them to do. If Democrats in Congress would stop playing political games, we'd love to secure the border. We'd love to close the loopholes in the system. We would love to get a fix on DACA. There are a number of things that we've laid out, and we'd like to see all of those things get done.
Does he support the Republicans pushing to get a vote on the floor of the House to get this issue going?
If it addressed all of those problems, certainly we would support things that actually fix the broken immigration system that we have. Stephen?
The Secretary of Homeland Security had a statement last night in which she said that the president was rightly frustrated by congressional inaction. Why was that frustration reportedly expressed at the Secretary herself? She doesn't serve in Congress, and she can only act under what's enacted in law by the Congress. So why did the president direct his frustration specifically at her at the cabinet meeting on Wednesday?
Again, I'm not going to get into a back and forth with you guys on an internal meeting. However, I can tell you that both the president and the secretary share the frustration that Congress is simply not showing up to work and getting their job done. Democrats have got to stop playing games. They've got to stop doing this just because it's a midterm year. They still have to do their job, and we would like to see them fix our immigration system. Not only is the administration frustrated, but Americans are too. 80% of Americans would like to see this problem fixed. They want something to be done. They are begging Congress to do it, and certainly I think not only does the president have a right to be frustrated, he has a right to be angry, and he is, and he's going to express that. He's done it both publicly, and he's going to continue to do that until we can actually fix this problem.
Sarah.
John?
If I could come back to North Korea. The president says that he believes that it's Kim's intention to denuclearize, but when you listen to Kim Jong-chul, who's in charge in North Korea, North-South relations, he said, listen, the reason why we're doing all this is because our nuclear program is complete. The reason why we're shutting down our test site is because we don't need it anymore. Our nuclear program is complete. I mean, it's kind of akin to somebody who builds a house and then enters a negotiation to tear it down. What gives you confidence that Kim actually wants to take apart something that he just built?
Look, the president is going into this with eyes wide open, as he said many times. We'll see what happens. But this is certainly a process that has moved in the right direction. We've seen some signs of goodwill from North Korea just this week with the 3 Americans brought back home. Also the stopping of the ballistic missile test, them stopping with their research and development on their nuclear program. And we're going to continue to push for complete and total denuclearization. We're also going to continue maximum pressure until we see that happen. All right, Blake, go ahead.
Sarah, thank you. You said in this room the other day that it is unlikely there's going to be an infrastructure bill this year. That was supposed to be the signature legislative item of 2018 for Republicans in this administration. Can you lay out for us what exactly is this White House's legislative agenda for this year?
Certainly, we'd love to see something done on immigration. It's something the president has been talking about for a long time. We've laid out the principles and the priorities that we'd like to see as part of an immigration package. There's still some movement on that front, and we would still like to see something happen. We'd love for Congress to actually show up, do their jobs, Democrats to stop opposing good legislation and actually fix our broken immigration system. Right here. Sorry, go ahead.
South Korea has a huge stake in whatever Trump and Kim agree upon. Will President Moon or another representative of South Korea be at the talks?
I don't believe that there are plans for them to be part of that specific day, but certainly have been a partner in this entire process. And as you know, President Moon will be here on the 22nd to continue those conversations, and we continue to be in lockstep with the South Koreans. Hunter?
On Wednesday, the president tweeted, quote, "The fake news is working overtime," and he said 91% of the network news about me is negative, parentheses, fake. Do you have the view that all negative stories about the president are fake?
No.
Why would he say that then?
I'll take one last question, Aisha.
Here?
Aisha, right here.
Just to follow up on these payments that Michael Cohen received from AT&T and Novartis, you said that this is a sign that the president won't be influenced. But just to be But just to clarify, does the president think it's appropriate for his personal attorney to be collecting payments from private companies, presumably saying that, or presumably promising to influence policy or to give them strategy on government policy?
I think the bigger point is that the president isn't going to be influenced by outside special interests. He's going to do what